Listen, there's something you need to understand, and I'm going to say it like it is. Stop being nice to women. Now, I'm not talking about being kind or respectful, because you should always be those things. What I'm talking about is being overly nice, being the guy who's so caught up in trying to please that you forget to stand your ground. You think being nice is going to win her over, right? You think if you just play it safe, put her needs first, and say everything she wants to hear, she'll be impressed. But guess what? That's not how it works. Women are strong, independent, and they see through that. They want a man who knows who he is, a man who doesn't compromise his values just to get approval, a man who isn't afraid to challenge, to push boundaries, to set expectations. Let me tell you this. You're not going to earn respect by bending over backward. You're not going to gain admiration by letting your own identity disappear in the process. You're not going to get anywhere by being a yes man. That's not strength, that's insecurity. You have to own your space, be bold, be assertive, show who you are, and if she doesn't appreciate that, it's her loss. But here's the real truth. If you want respect, if you want admiration, if you want her to actually see you, you've got to stop being nice and start being real. Be authentic, be unapologetically you. Because when you do that, you stop chasing validation and start attracting the right kind of person into your life. So stop trying to please, stop pretending to be someone you're not, stop compromising your own worth. Stand tall, be bold, be the man you're meant to be, and everything else will fall into place. That's how you deliver a powerful message with conviction. No fluff, just straight talk. You know, there's a crucial point I want you to understand, and it's at the heart of everything that truly matters in life. Stop overcompensating. I'm talking about the ways so many of us go through life trying to please others, trying to fit into someone else's expectations. We believe that if we just do enough, say the right things, and constantly put others before ourselves, that's how we'll earn their respect, their admiration, their love. But let me tell you right now, this mentality is flawed, and it's time you let go of it. The truth is, overcompensating only leaves you exhausted, resentful, and with a sense of self-worth that's tied to external validation instead of internal strength. You see, when you spend your time trying to please others, when you twist yourself into a shape that doesn't fit, you lose yourself in the process. You're living for someone else, following a script that's not yours, just to get a smile, a compliment, or a pat on the back. But ask yourself, is that really worth it? Is the effort worth sacrificing your own identity? When you're constantly overcompensating for someone else's approval, you're not allowing yourself to grow. You're not allowing yourself to evolve into the person you were meant to be. And the worst part is, you never truly feel fulfilled. Because deep down, you know that the version of you that's being accepted isn't even the real you. It's a version that was tailored to fit someone else's idea of what you should be. But here's the deal. People, especially women, don't need you to change who you are to gain their respect or affection. They don't need you to be a doormat, bending over backward and sacrificing your happiness for theirs. That's not attractive. That's not powerful. What's powerful is someone who knows their worth, someone who isn't afraid to stand firm in their convictions, someone who says, "This is who I am, and if you don't respect that, then it's your loss, not mine." That's strength. That's a person who understands that their own well-being is just as important as anyone else's. That's the kind of person who earns true respect. Not by trying to please everyone around them, but by being unapologetically themselves. Think about it. When you stop overcompensating, you give yourself the space to breathe, to grow, and to attract people who genuinely see and appreciate you for who you are. You don't have to try so hard to be someone you're not just to gain approval. Instead, you attract those who are aligned with your values, your energy, and your vision for the future. You start surrounding yourself with people who elevate you, challenge you, and support you for the right reasons, not because you're jumping through hoops to gain their favor. And let me tell you something else. Overcompensating doesn't just affect your relationships with others. It affects your relationship with yourself. Every time you go out of your way to make someone else happy at the expense of your own needs, you're telling yourself that you're not enough as you are. You're telling yourself that your voice, your desires, and your feelings don't matter as much as someone else's. And that's a dangerous message to send to yourself, because if you don't believe in your own worth, if you don't value your own needs, then how can you expect anyone else to? Now, I'm not saying you should stop being considerate, stop being kind, or stop being a good person, but there's a difference between being kind and overcompensating. Being considerate means you care for others without sacrificing your own well-being. It means finding a balance between giving and receiving. But overcompensating is one-sided. It's about giving all of yourself without expecting anything in return, until eventually there's nothing left of you. That's not sustainable, and that's not how you build real, meaningful connections with people. When you stop overcompensating, you take back control of your life. You get to decide what's important to you, what's worth your time and energy, and how to protect your own peace. This is about reclaiming your personal power. It's about learning to say no when you need to, even if that means disappointing someone. It's about standing up for your values and not compromising them just to keep someone else happy. And let me tell you something, when you start doing that, people will start respecting you more. Not because you've done everything for them, but because you've shown them that you value yourself enough to stand firm in your boundaries. It's not easy to stop overcompensating. It's not easy to stop trying to please others, especially when it's been ingrained in us for so long. We've been conditioned to think that we have to bend ourselves into shapes that don't fit in order to be accepted. But that's a lie. The truth is, you don't have to lose yourself to gain someone else's approval. The right people will come into your life when you stop pretending to be something you're not. They'll see the real you, and they'll respect you for it. And when you start respecting yourself enough to stop overcompensating, you'll find that the world opens up to you in ways you never imagined. So let me leave you with this. Stop overcompensating. Stop trying to be someone you're not just to please others. Stop sacrificing your own happiness and peace for someone else's approval. Be real. Be authentic. Be unapologetically you. And when you do that, you'll find that the right people, the ones who truly see you for who you are, will start showing up in your life. You'll start living a life that's aligned with your true self, and everything else will fall into place. Respect yourself first. You hear that? But do you truly understand it? It's easy to say, but when you really look at your actions, how often do you actually put your own needs, desires, and boundaries above the expectations of others? It's so common to think that respect must come from external sources, that we need to earn it from others in order to feel validated. But here's the truth. Respect begins with you. If you don't respect yourself, if you don't value your own time, your own boundaries, your own sense of self-worth, then no one else will either. And that's not a message that should be taken lightly, because how you view yourself is the foundation for everything in your life. If you don't set the standard for how you expect to be treated, you're leaving that responsibility in the hands of others. And when that happens, it's too easy to fall into the trap of letting other people dictate your value. Respect isn't about demanding things from people or forcing them to see your worth. It's about having a deep understanding of your own value, knowing what you bring to the table, and standing by that with confidence. It's about not allowing others to walk all over you or make you feel insignificant. It's about setting boundaries and being firm about them, even if it means disappointing someone in the process. When you respect yourself, you understand that your time, your energy, and your presence are precious. Stop giving them away to people who don't value them, and stop allowing others to take from you without giving anything in return. It's about knowing when to say no and recognizing that doing so doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a person who knows their worth. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you said yes when you really wanted to say no? How many times have you compromised your own happiness just to keep the peace or avoid conflict? How often do you bend your principles to fit in with someone else's idea of what's acceptable? These are signs that you haven't truly embraced self-respect. You've let external pressures dictate your actions, and as a result, you've diminished your own sense of self-worth. It's not enough to simply acknowledge your worth. It's about taking action, living with conviction, and upholding that respect every single day. Self-respect is about refusing to accept less than you deserve, not because you're entitled, but because you understand that you have value, and you're not going to settle for anything less than what reflects that value. When you respect yourself, you stop chasing after approval. You stop waiting for someone to give you permission to be great. You don't need validation from the outside world because your confidence comes from within. And let me tell you something, that's a game changer, because when you stop relying on others to affirm your worth, that's when you start attracting the right people into your life. People who see you for who you truly are. People who respect you because you respect yourself first. That's the kind of energy you want to put out into the world, because it's the kind of energy that draws respect back to you. Stop playing the game of trying to please others and start playing the game of standing in your own power. Self-respect isn't just about avoiding mistreatment, though. It's about setting the bar high for your own life. It's about expecting the best from yourself. It's about refusing to settle for mediocrity. If you respect yourself, you won't allow yourself to waste time on people or situations that don't align with your goals or values. You'll know when to walk away, when to cut ties, and when to move forward. You'll know that your time is too valuable to spend it on anything less than what you deserve. When you respect yourself, you demand that your time, energy, and resources are treated with the value they deserve. And here's the kicker. When you respect yourself, others will respect you too. It's the law of attraction. It's the energy you put into the world. People sense when you respect yourself and when you don't, and they respond accordingly. If you expect to be treated with dignity, you must first treat yourself with that same level of dignity. It's about having the strength to stand up for yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about making decisions that align with your sense of self-worth, even when others may not understand. You don't need validation from the outside to know that you are worthy. Now let's talk about the second key idea. Strength comes from authenticity. This is where the rubber meets the road. People are drawn to authenticity. They are attracted to individuals who are unapologetically themselves, people who are comfortable in their own skin. Why? Because authenticity radiates confidence. It says, I know who I am, I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to pursue it. This is the kind of energy that draws respect. But the truth is, it's hard to be authentic in a world that constantly pushes you to be something you're not. Everywhere you look, there's pressure to fit into certain molds, to live up to unrealistic standards, to become someone else's version of success. And that pressure can feel suffocating. It can make you question who you really are and what you really want. But here's the reality. When you try to be someone else, you lose the very thing that makes you unique. You lose the power that comes from being authentically yourself. Being authentic isn't always easy. It requires vulnerability. It means letting go of the need for approval and stepping into your truth. even if it means standing alone. It's about saying, "This is me, take it or leave it." And the strength that comes from this, it's unshakable. Because when you know who you are, when you stand firm in your identity, no one can shake you. It doesn't matter what other people think, because you've already accepted yourself fully. That's the kind of confidence that comes from authenticity. It's the kind of strength that isn't dependent on external validation. When you're authentic, you're not putting on a show. You're not pretending to be something you're not. You're not hiding behind masks or trying to live up to someone else's expectations. You're simply showing up as yourself. And that's powerful, because the world doesn't need more copies, it needs more originals. And the more you embrace who you truly are, the more you'll begin to attract people who respect that authenticity, who appreciate you for the real you, not for the person you're pretending to be. It's the foundation of all meaningful connections. Whether in business, relationships, or friendships, people are drawn to authenticity because it's rare, it's refreshing, and it's real. When you bring your true self to the table, it's impossible to be anything less than magnetic. So stop pretending to be someone else. Stop conforming to the expectations of others and start owning who you are. Because when you do, you'll find a strength in your authenticity that no one can take away from you. Strength comes from authenticity. There is a deep power in being unapologetically yourself. And yet, so many people are afraid of that. They're afraid of showing the world who they really are because it feels too risky, too vulnerable, too exposed. But let me tell you something. Strength doesn't come from hiding who you are. It doesn't come from pretending to be something you're not in order to fit in or please others. True strength is rooted in authenticity. When you can walk into any room, face any challenge, and be fully unapologetically yourself, that's when you unlock your real power. It doesn't matter if people like it or not, because you're not here to please anyone else. You're here to be who you were always meant to be. And there's a power that comes with that. Unshakable confidence that no one can take from you. You see, the world is full of people who are pretending. They're wearing masks, following trends, trying to be what society tells them they should be. They're chasing someone else's version of success, someone else's idea of happiness, and they wonder why they feel empty, why they feel disconnected. It's because they're living a life that isn't their own. They're not being true to who they are. But when you stop pretending, when you stop trying to live up to someone else's expectations, that's when you start to feel truly alive. That's when you start to feel like you're walking your own path, not someone else's. It's a feeling that comes from deep within, and it's impossible to fake. It's the confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are, exactly what you stand for, and exactly what you're capable of. And when you carry that confidence with you, people notice. It's magnetic. It draws respect. Because here's the thing, people don't respect the person who is always trying to be someone else. They respect the person who stands firm in their own skin. The person who isn't afraid to speak their truth, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. The irony is that the more authentic you are, the more you attract people who are aligned with your energy, with your truth. You stop wasting time with people who don't appreciate you for who you truly are, and instead, you start surrounding yourself with individuals who see your value, who respect you for your unique qualities. The key is not to seek validation from others, but to give yourself that validation first. When you stop seeking approval from the outside world and start relying on your own inner confidence, you'll be surprised at how many doors open up for you. The universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, can only deliver what you're willing to accept. If you accept yourself fully, if you know your worth and stand in it without apology, you'll find that the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances will start to show up in your life. You'll stop chasing after things that aren't aligned with who you truly are, and you'll start attracting everything that is. The truth is, Strength doesn't come from being tough all the time. It doesn't come from pretending to have it all together. Strength comes from vulnerability, from being willing to show the world your true self, flaws and all. That's where the real power lies. It's not about being perfect. It's not about putting on a facade and pretending to be invincible. Real strength is about accepting yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your flaws, and your beauty, without apology. It's about saying, "This is me, take it or leave it," and knowing that you are enough just as you are. When you embrace that authenticity, when you let go of the need to prove yourself to anyone, that's when you stop caring about what people think of you. You stop letting their judgments define your worth. You stop letting their opinions dictate your actions. And that's when you truly step into your power. Because when you're being authentic, you're no longer living for anyone else. You're living for yourself. You're not here to meet someone else's standards. You're here to meet your own. Now let's talk about the importance of attracting the right people into your life. If you want respect, you have to first be able to give it to yourself, but it doesn't stop there. You also need to surround yourself with the right people, the people who lift you up, who challenge you, who support you, and who understand your worth. But here's the thing. If you're not respecting yourself, if you're not standing firm in your own boundaries, if you're constantly compromising your values just to fit in, then you're going to attract people who don't respect you either. You'll attract people who take advantage of you, who treat you like you're expendable, or who don't appreciate the real you. But when you start respecting yourself, when you know your worth, when you're clear on your values and what you stand for, that's when you start attracting people who align with your energy. You stop attracting people who drain you, and you start attracting people who inspire you, who elevate you, and who push you to be your best self. This isn't just about relationships. This applies to every area of your life, whether it's friendships, business partnerships, or romantic relationships. The principle is the same. You can't attract the right people until you start respecting yourself. And when you do, you'll find that the people you attract are the ones who see you for who you really are, not for some version of you that you're pretending to be. You'll surround yourself with people who value you, who encourage you to grow, and who support you in all your endeavors. They won't try to change you. They won't try to make you fit into a mold that doesn't suit you. They'll accept you for who you are, flaws and all, and they'll push you to become the best version of yourself, not by changing who you are, but by helping you grow into the person you're meant to be. It all starts with self-respect. It all starts with you. Because if you don't respect yourself, you're never going to attract the people who will respect you. You have to set the standard, and you have to live by it. When you do that, everything else will follow. You'll stop wasting time on people who don't deserve you, and you'll start building meaningful, fulfilling relationships that are built on mutual respect, admiration, and authenticity. And the beauty of it is that the more you respect yourself, the more you will naturally attract the right people into your life. And that's how you build a life that's truly worth living, a life that's aligned with who you are, a life that reflects your highest potential. Because when you respect yourself and when you live authentically, you'll find that everything else falls into place. Challenge the status quo. This idea is simple in concept, but often daunting in practice. It's not easy to stand against the tide, especially when the world is pushing you to conform, to follow the rules, to stick with the crowd. But real growth, real change, and real success come from the courage to challenge what's expected of you. The truth is, the majority of people are content with staying in their comfort zones, with doing what they've always done, because it's familiar, because it's safe. But safe doesn't change the world. Safe doesn't lead to innovation, progress, or fulfillment. If you want to achieve something extraordinary, if you want to make a real impact, then you have to get comfortable with challenging the status quo. You have to be willing to do things differently, to break the mold, and to defy expectations. It's not about rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's about understanding that the path everyone else is on might not be the right path for you. It's about seeing the bigger picture and realizing that following in everyone else's footsteps won't lead you to the life you want. The world will always have rules, norms, and traditions, but those things aren't carved in stone. They're made by people, and people have the power to change them. But in order to change them, you first have to be willing to stand apart from the crowd. You have to be okay with being misunderstood, with not always being accepted, and with challenging people's ideas of who you should be and what you should do. When you begin to challenge the status quo, you may face criticism, resistance, and even failure. But that's the price of progress. If you don't face challenges, you're not pushing yourself enough. If you're not facing resistance, you're not aiming high enough. Growth requires discomfort, and discomfort requires you to step away from the status quo and forge your own path. Challenging the status quo isn't just about making a bold move once in a while. It's about adopting a mindset that questions everything. It's about refusing to accept things just because they've always been done that way. It's about challenging your own assumptions and looking for new ways to improve, to innovate, to do things better. It's about constantly asking, is there a better way? If you want to live a life of purpose, if you want to create something meaningful, you can't just do what everyone else is doing and hope for extraordinary results. Ordinary actions get ordinary results. Extraordinary actions lead to extraordinary outcomes, and those actions are often about doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing, thinking outside the box and embracing the unknown. That's where innovation happens. That's where breakthrough ideas are born. In any industry, in any endeavor, the people who stand out are the ones who have the courage to go against the grain, to push boundaries, and to take risks that others are afraid to take. These are the people who don't follow trends, who don't chase after what's popular. Instead, they create their own path. They define their own success. They create something new. And while challenging the status quo may come with its share of struggles, it also comes with a freedom that can't be found anywhere else. When you stop trying to fit into the mold that society, your industry, or your family has created for you, you start to realize that you're not bound by anyone's expectations. You're free to create your own rules, to live your life on your terms, and to build something that truly reflects who you are. When you embrace this mindset, you stop living for others and start living for yourself. You stop letting fear and doubt hold you back and start embracing the possibility of failure as a lesson, not a defeat. You understand that challenging the status quo isn't about winning all the time. It's about growing, learning, and evolving into the person you are meant to be. And when you challenge the status quo, when you break free from the constraints that others place on you, you realize that your true power lies in your ability to define your own destiny, to carve your own path, and to create something that no one else could ever have imagined. You're not here to be another face in the crowd. You're here to make a difference, to leave a legacy, to break down barriers, and to do things that others thought were impossible. You were born with a unique purpose, and if you follow the path that everyone else is walking, you'll never find it. Your success doesn't lie in fitting in, it lies in standing out. So challenge the status quo, challenge the expectations, challenge the rules, and most importantly, challenge yourself. Step outside of what's comfortable and be willing to embrace the discomfort of change, because that discomfort is where growth lives, and it's where greatness is forged. We hear it all the time, right? Surround yourself with positive people. But it's not just about surrounding yourself with anyone. It's about attracting the right people into your life. The right people aren't just those who make you feel good in the moment or those who tell you what you want to hear. The right people are those who challenge you, who push you to become better, and who see your potential even when you don't see it yourself. These are the people who bring out the best in you, who hold you accountable to your own growth, and who refuse to let you settle for anything less than your best. Attracting the right people starts with one thing: knowing what you want. It starts with understanding your own values, your own goals, and your own purpose. When you know exactly who you are and where you're going, you'll naturally start to attract people who are on the same wavelength, people who share your vision and who will help you get there. The problem is that so many people don't take the time to get clear on who they are and what they want. They let fear, insecurity, and societal expectations dictate their decisions. As a result, they attract people who are on the same level of uncertainty and confusion, people who don't challenge them to rise above their circumstances. But when you take the time to understand yourself, when you're clear on your values and your goals, you send out a signal to the world that you're not available for anything less than what aligns with your purpose. You begin to attract people who understand your vision and who are willing to support you in pursuing it. You stop attracting people who drain you, who hold you back, and who keep you stuck in mediocrity. You start attracting people who elevate you, who inspire you, and who motivate you to become the best version of yourself. Attracting the right people is not just about seeking out people who will make you feel good. It's about seeking out people who will help you grow. It's about surrounding yourself with individuals who will push you, challenge you, and make you think bigger, work harder, and dream further than you ever thought possible. These are the people who will hold you accountable when you fall short, who will lift you up when you're down, and who will celebrate your victories with you. But in order to attract the right people, you have to be the right person. You have to be someone who is already on the path of growth, who is already committed to becoming the best version of yourself. When you do that, you will naturally attract people who are aligned with your values, your energy, and your purpose. Together, you will create a community that empowers everyone to rise to their full potential. You're only as strong as the people you surround yourself with, so make sure that the people in your circle are those who challenge you, who inspire you, and who make you better. When you attract the right people, you create an environment where everyone thrives, and that's the kind of life you want to build. When you challenge the status quo and surround yourself with the right people, you unlock a world of possibilities that you never imagined before. You stop being limited by the world's expectations, and you begin to create your own reality. With the right mindset, the right relationships, and the courage to challenge conventional thinking, there's no limit to what you can achieve. You must be willing to face discomfort. In a world that often prioritizes comfort and convenience, there is something extraordinary about those who choose to push past it. The reality is that most people avoid discomfort at all costs. We're conditioned to seek ease, to gravitate toward the path of least resistance. But if you want to achieve greatness, if you want to live a life that stands out, you have to learn to embrace discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It doesn't happen when you're coasting through life, doing the same thing over and over again, avoiding challenges because they seem too difficult or uncomfortable. No, growth happens when you step out of that comfort zone, when you take on something that scares you, when you push yourself beyond the limits of what you thought was possible. The moment you decide to face discomfort is the moment you begin to grow. Discomfort is a sign that you're on the right track. It's a sign that you're moving forward, that you're challenging yourself to go further than you ever have before. Whether it's physical, emotional, or mental discomfort, it's all a part of the journey. It's all a part of the process of becoming the person you are meant to be. Now, don't mistake discomfort for suffering. Discomfort isn't about self-inflicted pain or putting yourself in toxic or harmful situations. It's about the willingness to face challenges, to do things that require effort and sacrifice, to grow through the hard times. Whether it's waking up early to work on your goals, facing your fears head-on, or pushing through the setbacks and failures that inevitably come your way, discomfort is a constant companion on the road to success. It's the key to developing resilience, mental toughness, and emotional strength. Discomfort forces you to dig deep, to tap into resources you didn't even know you had. It forces you to rise to the occasion, to find solutions. When it seems like there are none, discomfort teaches you how to keep going when things get tough. It teaches you how to push through the hard times and keep your eyes on the bigger picture. And the more you embrace discomfort, the more capable you become of handling whatever life throws your way. Every time you rise above discomfort, you strengthen your character. Every time you face a challenge head-on, you become more confident in your abilities. And with every step forward, no matter how difficult, you move closer to the person you're meant to become. This doesn't mean you have to go looking for discomfort or create unnecessary hardships. The discomfort you need to face is the one that naturally comes with progress. It's the challenge that comes with taking on something that scares you or stepping into the unknown. It's the discomfort that comes when you push yourself beyond your current capacity, when you take risks that could lead to failure, but could also lead to great rewards. You can't grow without taking these risks, without facing these moments of discomfort. If you want to break through the barriers that have been holding you back, you have to step into the discomfort that comes with change. That means pushing past the fear, pushing past the self-doubt, pushing past the voices that tell you it's too hard, and taking that leap of faith. The discomfort will always be there, but so will the rewards on the other side. Discomfort is a necessary part of life's greatest accomplishments, and once you understand this, you can begin to see it as a friend rather than an enemy. The road to success is not a smooth ride. It's not a straight path with clear milestones. It's a bumpy, twisted, unpredictable journey full of obstacles, setbacks, and challenges. But every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Every setback is a lesson in resilience, and every challenge is a chance to prove to yourself what you're made of. The discomfort you face today is building the foundation for the success of tomorrow. It's helping you develop the skills, the mindset, and the confidence you need to reach your goals. The more you face discomfort, the more you will realize that it's not something to be feared, but something to be welcomed. It's a sign that you are on the right path, a path that leads to greatness. You have to stop avoiding discomfort and start embracing it as part of the process. Because when you embrace discomfort, you're embracing the very thing that will push you to become the best version of yourself. You see, the real power doesn't come from the moments of ease. It doesn't come from the moments when everything is going according to plan, when everything is comfortable, when you're not being challenged. It comes from the moments when you have to dig deep. It comes from the moments when you want to quit, when you feel like giving up, when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, but you keep going anyway. It comes from the moments when you face discomfort head-on and decide that it won't stop you. It is in those quiet, solitary moments when you show up for yourself, even when no one else is watching, that your true character is forged. These are the moments that define you, the moments when there is no audience to applaud your efforts, no recognition to validate your hard work, and no one else to lean on but yourself. It's in these moments that you discover what you're truly capable of. It's in these moments that you cultivate the strength, resilience, and grit that will propel you toward your highest potential. True power doesn't come from external validation or fleeting moments of success. It comes from the willingness to face discomfort, to rise above it, and to continue pushing forward despite the odds. Discomfort isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of progress. It's the resistance that strengthens you, the challenge that shapes you, and the crucible that refines you into the person you are meant to be. The process of growth is not smooth or easy, and it doesn't come with shortcuts. You can't skip the struggle. You can't bypass the discomfort. It's an essential part of the journey. Every setback, every obstacle, and every moment of doubt is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn, and to persevere. The next time you face discomfort, resist the urge to run from it. Instead, lean into it, embrace it fully, because it holds the key to unlocking your greatest potential. Discomfort is the defining factor that separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. It's what sets apart the people who take risks and dare to chase their dreams from those who remain stuck in their comfort zones, clinging to the familiarity of routines that no longer serve them. Those who choose comfort over growth often find themselves wondering why they aren't moving forward, why their dreams remain just out of reach. But for those who embrace discomfort, the rewards are immeasurable. When you choose discomfort, you choose growth. When you choose growth, you embark on a journey of transformation, one that will lead you to become the person you were always meant to be. Life is not meant to be easy, nor is success a product of simply following the crowd. True success is forged through challenging the status quo, confronting discomfort, and standing unwaveringly in your authenticity. Strength doesn't come from staying within the bounds of what is safe and familiar. It comes from daring to step outside your comfort zone, to embrace the challenges that come with growth, and to walk your own path, even when it's not the most popular or easiest route. The people you choose to surround yourself with play a crucial role in this journey. They should challenge you to become better, to aim higher, and to push further than you thought possible. They should inspire you to rise to your full potential while holding you accountable to your goals. However, the foundation of this support starts within yourself. You must be willing to give yourself the respect, validation, and encouragement that no one else can provide. Only then will you begin to attract the right people and opportunities into your life. You are not here to live a life of mediocrity or conformity. You are here to leave a mark, to break barriers, and to rise above the challenges that come your way. Stop settling for less. Stop playing it safe, and start living with intention, courage, and an unrelenting drive to be the best version of yourself. The world needs the real you, the bold, authentic, and fearless you. Step into your power and create the life you deserve. Remember, success isn't handed to you. It's earned through hard work, perseverance, and the courage to face your fears and limitations. The life you want is waiting for you on the other side of your comfort zone. Take the first step, challenge the status quo, embrace discomfort, and build the legacy you were born to create. Your future is yours to define. Make it count.